Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalrin. I'm spending a lot of time on the BFA beta. I'm trying to make as many constructive videos as possible, trying to get as many things I guess I can get since the Gladiator Sanctum servers came out. If you're not aware what Gladiator Sanctum servers are, these are the servers allow me to bring you videos like these, where I get to go play as a max level 120 character with full gear, Azeroth bonuses, trinkets, everything included, and I can actually get some PvP done. And I can play so many of these different classes without having to level every single one of them. So that is what Gladiator Sanctum is all about. Since these servers came up and came to, I guess, live on the beta, it has been an absolute joy and I've just been enjoying myself a lot. One of the things that I really liked about PvP in BFA, especially with the max level 120, it's the beta, so things are getting changed. Some classes don't work, some classes do. It's a lot of, numbers being adjusted left and right. Like yesterday, certain classes were doing poorly. Today, all of a sudden, they're doing damage. Like Blizzard is doing fine tunings left and right. And you can kind of see little by little of them actually doing tuning, so that's good. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I just want to talk about the fact that gear being important all over again in PvP is absolutely fun. So, on the Gladiator Sanctum, there's an area where you spawn in. Whatever you zone into the game, it takes you to the PvP section for the Horde or Alliance. And that section will be where the Duelers Guild is at. For the Horde, it's a little off to the side. For Alliance, it's actually in Borealis, so it's pretty close nearby. But you can't leave that area. You're kind of stuck there, and that's all you get to do. The whole place is designed just for you to go in and test things for PvP. Get your gear, get whatever you need, just go test, have fun, good luck, all that good jazz. And it's been a complete joy and so much fun just being able to mix and match my gear. You have a bunch of vendors, and I'm surprised that Blizzard decided to go out using vendors like that, because it makes me think like I'm playing a private server or something with a bunch of vendors just standing out with anything you can buy. But you can now pick and choose pieces of gear, Azeroth bonuses, PvP pieces, raid pieces. And I think a lot of the Azeroth bonuses are not finalized. A lot of the bonuses are kind of like doubled up, so I don't think this will be our final bonuses. But some of them are pretty cool. Of course, nobody's gonna go for like pure AoE bonuses or anything, and I feel like PvP bonuses should have their own benefits for the specs that have some sort of a PvP approach. I like what they did, for example, with some of the Azeroth bonuses, where you'll have pieces of gear that will grant you mastery or certain bonuses, and if you're fighting against somebody of the opposite faction, or let's say a player, it has like a double the chance or stacks up quite as twice as fast or something. There's some kind of a spin just because you're engaging in PvP. So these pieces of gear can be used in PvE. They just have an advantage bonus in PvP, allowing PvE bonus gear to have advantage and be used in PvP. It's just the PvP bonuses are faster and stack and have an extra twist to them. And what's been cool is no matter what spec, no matter what class I play, whether it's sustain class, build class, a bursty spec, no matter what I've been playing, it's so much fun to just go and mix and match pieces of gear. What I've noticed is there's so much variety to different builds that you can run. No matter what class or spec I end up playing, there's so many different options that I can pick from. For example, I decided to put this Warlock together. I didn't really know what I should go and focus on as a Destro Warlock. I'm not used to having gear affect my playstyle. Should I have so much haste? Should I have a certain breakpoint of versatility? Should I go all mastery and crit? And there's so many ways of going about it. I decided off the bat just to go full mastery crit build. And because the gear that you can get any piece of gear, you can really fine tune those stats. I end up with about 2% haste, so all my abilities take 2 full seconds to cast. So unless I'm getting conflagrates into a speed cast of an ability, I'm usually not out there pressing them. So it makes the spec very, very interesting as a playstyle. And this is awesome. It's a little overwhelming, and I feel like the builds that I'm running and putting together are probably not going to be effective, as, having 2-second cast on your incinerates just seems insane. But the fact that now people will have to be able to, get certain amount of stats and breakpoints and all these things that we used to do before Legion, I think all those things coming back would be awesome. You know what they need to add? They need to add hit and expertise on gear, and then we'll be good. While you're at it, might as well bring back like Cataclysm or even pre-Cataclysm talent points and how that would run. Give even more diversity and customizability to all our characters. Overall, I think the gear, the Azeroth bonuses, I think are still not finished. I think there's still more bonuses to come, more extra effects. So what we have right now is just very beta baseline. But if these effects do end up making it into the end game, which I guess there's a potential they might, I mean, it's not like I'm saying I'll be disappointed, but I'm not saying that I will be completely satisfied either. So I think there's still going to be more to come for the game before it finally comes out, especially on Azeroth bonuses. But back to the Warlock, I went full Master Crit gear, and it was fun learning that, okay, I need some amount of haste. I never ended up getting that much haste, because I just had only a few BGs with this guy, but being able to play to the playstyle, like, okay, few casts off that I do get off, whether it's a Chaos Bolt, whether it's Incinerates, they deal insane amounts of damage, and if they crit, oh lord. Get your Immolate up, keep them at bay, get those Chaos Bolts out, because they're slamming everybody for insane amounts of damage right now. On top of that, I decided to go take Azeroth bonuses, and I noticed there's a bonus that increases damage of your Chaos Bolt, so I thought, let's just 3-stack both of those. And it has a chance, when you sling a Chaos Bolt at the enemy, there's a chance that I can get a free Incinerate, so I have 3 of those stacked up fully, with Master Crit gear, running around BGs, and Chaos Bolt is majority of my damage. Kind of like where Warlock should be. Of course, I had the Honor Town to buff my Chaos Bolt so you can't Havoc it, so you know, so it's not quite baseline as I would expect it to be. But combined together with all these bonuses, my Chaos Bolts was slamming people for like 30k of their health at minimum and 50k maximum. That is if I pop a Trinket just to amp my burst. The fact that Trinkets can even be used, I'm watching for my Trinket procs now, or at least I should be doing that a lot more often, but I definitely wasn't doing it on Warlock. I'm somewhat doing it on my Rogue, more or less, you know, see what buffs I can get. I have a Trinket that I can pop as my burst for my Warlock, and slinging big Chaos Bolts at people with that extra intellect. It is so much fun. I feel like all these things being gone for the longest in Legion gave us a couple different opportunities. One, in Legion, it was a lot easier to have alts for PvP. If you were somebody who just want to, you know, PvP most of Legion, and you want to play more than one character, I felt that in Legion, it is the easiest time to do it. Probably the best time to do it. With the stat templates and how they function, you don't really need to worry about gear. As long as you have a decent item level, you're good to go. Even the concordance thing you didn't need to really keep up with at all, because, you know, it gets squished down anyway, so you only need to get as much of it as you would from arenas. You didn't really have to farm. You didn't have to watch out for your gear. All you had to make sure you have the right talents, right honor talents, and you're good to go. And now we actually have to go and customize the characters in more detail. So this means we won't really, I don't think we'll be able to alt the game as effectively as we could before. Because I felt like alting for PvP in Legion, super easy. If you're only doing PvP, you can have multiple characters doing arenas, and especially if you're playing casually, Battlegrounds were so easy to get into. You just had to grind that honor level once on every single character, and even for that, Blizzard made it easier every single time you had to. So it's been easy, I guess. But the drawback comes from it is there's not enough customization to your character. You feel that, you know, unless Blizzard makes some kind of a huge change to your class, there's nothing to it. And now as a player, it feels pretty good to have that personal control on a character. Let's say something new happened to a certain class. You get to control what you want for your character with gear, with trinkets, with everything now. And it's kind of like this, a little bit of an overwhelming feeling, but it's also kind of a relieving feeling. This allows, I think, for the player to make choices. Yes, a lot of players are going to make mistakes with their characters. We're going to have to go back to looking up PvP guides and find out the best PvP builds, stats, and everything. Which I think for Outlaw Rogue, I think I already have those under my belt. I've been testing a little bit here and there. So on the Outlaw Rogue basis, I think we'll be just fine. But every other class, I feel like playing alts, for example, you need to do some research and you need to treat them as seriously as you would as if you're about to head into a mythic raid. And while I think it might be a little bit jarring for everybody who, let's say, started in Legion, I feel that everybody who played in previous expansions, even in Warlords of Draenor when we had at least some sort of customization for our characters, like if anybody remembers Death Knights who could forego their 2-piece bonus or 4-piece bonus, or even Subtlety Rogues who forego the 4-piece bonus of extra versatility for Feint, and instead went for just gear that gave them straight up versatility, like little things like that. We're gonna have that times 10, and there's gonna be so much to do. I'm wondering though if PvP gear will end up being stronger in BGs and such than PvE gear, or will, like, in the end game mythic gear with all the end game mythic bonuses will end up being stronger, because I think Blizzard needs to strike a balance between those two aspects of the game. Like, we all love PvP, we all love PvE, But it'd be kind of obnoxious to just have somebody who, you know, goes to Mythic Raid and maybe gets a carry, maybe pays for a carry, and then they run out into a BG and they're doing the most amount of damage out of their class. You know what I mean? But even with that being said, even if there is some sort of disbalance, I am happy that we have so much more customizability for our characters. And that's really what I want to talk about today. So if you're somebody who maybe wasn't excited about BFA, PvP, or wasn't quite sure exactly what it entails, customizability is going to be on the front lines for Blizzard, and a lot of classes feel really good to play right now when it comes to PvP. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts about the idea of gear coming back and being important for your character. I'd like to hear from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one.